Buckets in the Ball podcast with your hosts, Claire Stoops and Savannah Mitchell. And the show starts now.
Hi everybody, welcome back to episode 4 of the Two Buckets in a Ball Hoopcast. As a key reminder, the purpose of the show is to provide educational material for hoopers and their families as they try to navigate their basketball journey. Today, we're going to dive into some training. We're going to talk with the M14 team here in Indianapolis, and they're going to tell us a little bit about themselves and the options they provide for training.
Enjoy the interview.
We are pumped to have the Indianapolis M14 crew here with us today. Today we have Nick Daniels, Randy Reed, and Eric Easter. Welcome to the podcast, guys. To start off, can you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves, including what role you guys play in M14, where you guys grew up, and where you guys have played throughout your guys' basketball career?
Well, I guess I'll start off with the answer to that question. So I'm Nick, by the way. So I grew up in Aurora, Illinois. Played my college basketball at what was then known as IPFW, Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne. It's now Purdue Fort Wayne. Right after I graduated college, I started working with M14 Hoops and worked my way up, and now I'm the owner of our Indianapolis location. I'm also head of player and staff development for the entire brand as well.
Awesome. I'm Randy. I'm born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri. I played Division I basketball at the University of Nebraska, Omaha. I started working with M14 right out of college. I was in the middle of playing overseas and also working on becoming a trainer with M14, and so been here ever since.
So I'm Eric, and Randy's actually my older brother. So like he said, started my childhood in St. Louis, Missouri. We actually, when he graduated high school, that's when we moved to Indianapolis. So then after that, I was in Indy, been here ever since. I went to Lawrence Central High School, and actually I trained with M14. Nick was my trainer, and that's what drew me back here. And now being here since the start, I'm going into a director role here. And actually Randy and I are partners in M14 ourselves.
Before we get into the main interview, here are some rapid fire questions just to get us warmed up. Favorite shoe?
Jordan.
11,
Jordan, by the way, the 11s.
Favorite one, off-white UNC ones. We just don't push.
Kobe's, for sure. Kobe's.
Favorite college team, men's and women's?
Ooh, Duke men's. I'm a big Duke fan, and UConn women's, for sure.
I'd have to say the same. I'm a Duke men's fan, UConn women's fan.
Wherever Dre and Tay Davis are.
What about the women's side?
Women's side, wherever Juju is.
Okay. Favorite WNBA player and why?
Wow. Candace Parker. So Candace Parker is from where I'm from. So I watched her. We were around the same age. Got to watch her play in person. And she's really a dope individual. Actually, when they had the All-Star game in Chicago, snuck behind stage and she gave us a autograph. So Candace Parker, she's the GOAT.
Mine's Brianna Stewart. One, she's as skilled as they come. She's always been fun to watch, but also she's just a winner. She's won at every level she's ever been at, and I like winners.
For me, I got two, Asia Wilson, right, and Kelsey Plum, both bucket getters, both two different positions, both play different styles, but they get buckets, so.
Who is the hardest defender you guys have ever played against?
Easy, Patrick Beverly. So a lot of people don't know this about me, but I grew up with Pat. So we went to school from 7th grade to sophomore year in high school, and he's the ultimate competitor. He really brought a lot of the dog out of me, so he's definitely the hardest defender I've ever played against. And
Did you still cook him though?
No, I ain't gonna say that. We got after it. Like, I gave him a run for his money, but obviously, man, he's an all-NBA defender. He gets under your skin. He's been like that ever since, I can remember. So, no, that's easily the best defender I played against.
Best defender. That's a hard one. Actually, I had a teammate my junior year. He was a senior on our team. His name was Makai Biffle. Very underrated player. He was in the shadow of Kyle Guy for years, but that was probably the hardest person I've ever had guard me by far.
All right. I don't know any defenders that I felt did a good job of me one-on-one. So now, there were some teams that did really well playing defense against me. So I remember this junior college game. It was a national tournament. I felt like there were 8 dudes on the court and all 8 were on me. That's what it felt like. But it was 2 dudes. So, but they did a really good job in my JUCO. So,
Out of all the Indy M14 trainers, who would win in a 1v1?
Come on now. I'm going to win for sure. Because I'm going to outsmart him. You think about Michael Jordan's career early on, he doing a lot of flashy stuff. Later on, it was just 1 or 2 dribbles, jab, little fadeaway. So I'm going to beat them up here. That's how I'm going to win it.
I'm going to say me now because I finally got this, and I'm still young, so I'm going to give myself the nod on that one.
We would just let him shoot. That's easy.
No, I saw him at
fixed
Tag
that too.
earlier
You
today.
clearly
He
gotta let
was
him know.
cooking the other trainers, shooting
until
too.
you start talking trash to him, and then we'll see.
No. I like that. That's when I get better. If we're quiet, I don't know.
listen, guys. It's clearly me. It's clearly
we
me.
might have to actually do this.
It's clearly me.
We're going to have to definitely check
Scoring
up
is
for
what
sure.
I do. One-on-one is what I do. Now, defense, that's these 2 guys all day. They ball handling better, passing better, the game of basketball better. Scoring, it's literally what I do.
Yeah, we might have to check up. I think these guys
I like running one, too.
We can run it, for sure.
Nick, what does M14 stand for, and when did it get started?
That's a really good question. So M14 is named after the founder of the company. So Matt Miller. So the M is for his last initial, for his last name. And then 14 was the number he wore his entire career, so M14. So we did not name the company after a gun. We always get that question. And it's always a mom that asks it. So M14 stands for Miller 14 Hoops.
When did it get started in Indiana?
Indiana, I started in 2016. So the company was founded in 2009, and we started our Indianapolis location in 2016.
Nick, what are the different M14 locations in Indiana?
We have 2. So we have one in Noblesville, which Randy's the director of, and then we have one in Westfield, which Eric's the director of that one.
Randy and Eric, what do you guys look for in a trainer, and how many trainers do you guys have in the Indy area?
So there's 3 things that we require out of every trainer. The first one is energy. Like for you guys training with us, that's a big thing for us. Second one is holding players accountable. Right? We always tell everybody that quality is everything, and holding players accountable is what gets you guys that quality of a training session. And then the ability to get players to go hard, which organically happens when you do those 2 things. Right?
Yeah, and then we also look for people that are moldable, right? People that are good fits for the culture that we have, right? When you join M14, you're buying into the culture that we've put in place, right? So we like people that are moldable. We also like people that want to give back and like being around kids, right? Obviously, the game of basketball did a lot for all of us, and we like people that want to give back to the game by giving back to the next generation. As far as how many trainers we have, there's 6 of us that are full-time. And then I would say at each location, anywhere from 20 part-time staff to 25.
And do you guys feel like to be a successful trainer, you have to have played basketball at some level during their career?
Absolutely, 100%. It's a requirement. They have to have at least varsity experience. Now, again, that only gets you in the door. Like what Randy said, we look for guys that are moldable because there's a certain way we do things. And then also you got to be able to bring energy and all that other stuff as well. But yeah, you got to have some basketball experience for sure.
Okay. How would you guys respond to people that say M14 focus too much on individual play instead of team skills?
Well, you haven't sat in the M14 training session, right? Because everything, we obviously got to teach the individual skill, but then the other part of it, we teach them how to implement that into the team game. So nobody preaches team more than us. Obviously, the company was built by a point guard who was a pass-first point guard. He wasn't a scoring point guard. And obviously, we have to prepare players to play on a team. That's what they're training for. So, yes, it's training, so you got to do some of the flashy stuff, and you work on the individual skills, but it still has to work into the overall team concept. So my answer back to them would be just come check out one of our sessions, and you'll see.
Do you guys have anything to add to that?
I mean, yeah, like Nick said, come check it out for yourselves. We totally focus on we understand what the kids are trying to get accomplished, right? They're trying to get better for their team, right? Or they're trying to, man, I was on the C team, I'm trying to make the B team. Well, in order to do that, there's some things that your coach is going to want to see from you, right? Or I was on the A team, but I was on the bench, I'm trying to get in the starting lineup. Again, there are some things that are required of you in order for you to make it to that, right? Or man, I was on the team. I'm trying to be the star player. Again, there's some team concepts that go along with that, right? And then basketball is a 5-on-5 sport. One basketball, 5 players, so it's not all one-on-one. We teach players how to pass. We teach players how to rebound, defense. We're really big at, hey, do what. Obviously, we teach things a certain way, but we're really big at saying, hey, do what your coaches say. If your coaches teach defense like this is what you're going to do. Do it exactly how your coaches tell you to do it. So we're definitely for the team. Obviously, kids want to work on the cool stuff, so we got a little bit of that too. What they call it, the bag or whatever, right? Like we teach a bag as well, but at the same time, man, we want kids to be really good basketball players.
And also, you could just look at an M14 player, man. Think about all our players that play at the college level. They're the ultimate team players. Guys like Dre Davis, he's a glue guy, man. He's important to having on the team, and that's not just straight out of my mouth. You can, listen to interviews from his coach Chris Beard talking about how he's a glue guy and he can fit into anything with the team. So, though I trace that back to his roots and his time spending with M14 hoops, and so yeah, we teach how to implement your individual skill into the team stuff.
Randy and Eric, as lead trainers, what does a typical day look like for you guys?
Typically, we'll have 1-2 meetings a day, just to make sure we're all on the same page from location to location, right? From a national standpoint as well. Um, for me personally, I spend a lot of time watching film, right? I have about 15 huddle accounts of players that I train, right? So I literally watch every single game of all 15, just to see, like, okay, what are they doing well? What are they struggling with? What's going on in the basketball world, right? Like, what type of defenses are people seeing? What offenses are coaches running? Stuff like that just continues to help me grow. And then not only that, research, right? Like we're constantly researching new moves, skills, new concepts, or little things that we can do to help you guys get over the hump, whatever that may be. So, and then after that, typically leads to our training session. We'll have like some private lessons and some group academies or stuff like that in the evening time. So that's typically what it is for me.
With us having the same position, our days look a lot the same. Because Randy, he's our film guy. Like he lives watching film. Me, I love watching live games. So when I'm sitting at home, I'll go back. I even have an ESPN Plus account, so I can watch every game back, replay it. If I saw a good game and I wanted to watch it again to see little details, I do that. I like to dissect it. I've always been a coach's kid. My mom coached my whole life, and everybody above me in my family is a basketball person. They coach, so like I just really enjoy watching basketball. So I just have it on all day. And once I finally leave the house, then at that point we have our office hours, which are typically Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then we're in private sessions, then straight into academy after that.
What is your most popular academy? And can you guys tell us about the growth process for the academies?
Yeah, absolutely. So we run an academy 2 times a year. So we'll run it in the spring and we'll run it in the fall. They're both. I mean, it's the same program. It's structured the same. It's definitely our most popular program because you can get everything you need all in that academy session. So they'll get the individual skills. They get the competition where you get to see one player do it and you don't want them to outdo you, so you're going to push yourself a little bit harder. And then also they get to learn how to translate what we're teaching them in live game simulated situations, whether it's 1-on-1, 3-on-3, or setting up a certain situation so we can work on some reads. So no, our academy is definitely our most popular program, but we understand not everybody can do it, right? Especially nowadays, like people's schedules are all over the place. They're doing multiple things. Parents have multiple kids that they have to get different places. So we have some kids that just do private, some kids that just do our summer camps. We just try to make it an overall good experience no matter what program you join.
Can you guys describe the different colors and what they mean in the academies?
Yeah, absolutely. So think of it like a belt system in karate. So we go green, blue, gray. Green being our entry level classes at each grade level. In blue, that's middle of the road. And then gray is the highest level class that we're going to offer at each grade level. And it really is determined by how long they've been with us. Because there's a certain skills or there's certain things we're going to teach in each grade level. So we don't get caught up in green, blue, gray. We've had players that are playing college basketball that were in our blue class, right? It's not more about who's in the class or the color of the class. It's about what's being taught in the class, and it's what you need at that point. And it's not always skill. Sometimes it can be confidence. Sometimes it can be leadership. We're trying to build that well-rounded basketball player.
And we recognize that good training isn't cheap, and some players might not have the financial support to have good training. What advice do you have for those people that might not have the financial
Man,
support?
that's a really good question, because I know, thinking back, for me, I know my mom couldn't afford M14, right? So what would Nick Daniels do to navigate and still be able to compete with the players that has an M14? Well, number one, we provide resources for coaches and players that is free. So you can get on our website and go to our Coaches Corner segment, where we're breaking down individual drills, we're breaking down moves, team concepts. We also post a lot of stuff on our Instagram, right? So we'll have a move of the week. We'll show different drills and different things that players can do. But, if you can't afford M14, man, you get a basketball, find a hard surface, get outside and work on your game. That's how it goes. So that would be my advice to a player that can't afford M14.
Can you tell us about the different camps you offer, and is there a particular camp that's your favorite?
Wow. Yeah. So we offer a ton of different skill camps over the summer, just because we're going to offer a camp every week of the summer, June and July. So we can't just offer the same thing over and over again, because we'll have some kids literally that will come to every week of camp. So we have PG Elite Camp. We got scoring camp. If I forget some, help me out, guys. We got 3-on-3 camp, Let's Play camp, scoring camp, shooting and defense camp. I think shooting and defense probably our most popular camp. And I'll never forget when Coach Matt first created the camp. So there's a running joke at M14. If I say it's not going to work, then it's going to work. So like every idea Matt came up with, he would come to me and be like, yeah, I want to do this. I'd be like, that ain't going to work. He'd be like, all right, watch. And it works. So I'm like, a shooting and defense camp? But yeah, no, it's like a major hit with the kids. Like we spend half of the camp day on shooting, and we spend the other half on defense. And they really love it, man. We found a different way to make it fun and keep the kids getting better and make sure they're having a good experience.
I understand that the breast cancer awareness camp is a really big camp for you guys. Can you guys explain what that means to you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, cancer is that disease that's impacted everybody at some point in our lives. We're big on using the game of basketball instead of letting it use you. And obviously, we have a platform here, so it's just our way of giving back to the less fortunate, or people who are going through some tough times. So we run it the last Sunday of October. It is our biggest clinic. We always sell it out. We have a DJ. We do a bunch of raffles. It's a clinic, all in the name of fighting against breast cancer. So it's been great. If you've never participated in it before, sign up, because it's a good event. It's for a good cause.
One of the things we have noticed about your program is you guys are always out supporting players at all levels, whether that's the high school games or even middle school and elementary school games at Pack or Mojo. Randy and Eric, can you tell us what that means to you guys?
So it's two sides of it. One, it's helpful for us as trainers to be able to see you guys live and see if you're using the stuff. If you're not, why aren't you? When you do use it, what mistakes you're making, or if you're doing a great job with it, okay, then what's the next level? Then also, we know how it feels to feel supported by your coaches. So when you guys see us coming to the game, we know that you guys feel a little bit more motivated. We know that you guys are a little bit easier on yourselves when you make mistakes, because you know that it's okay, because we always tell you that. So
Yeah, and then obviously, I mean, we're running a business here, but at the same time, we're a family, right? So obviously, if you guys come and you work with us, and we're in the lab, we see all the mistakes you're making, and you're trying to get over the hump. We see all that stuff, right? And we're in the trenches with you guys, and that's our way of showing you guys that, hey, we care about you too. Just like how you reciprocate us, reciprocate that to us by coming to train with us continuously over and over again, right? Us coming to you guys' game is just showing you guys that, hey, we care about you guys too, right? Because I would confidently say that we're not here if we don't actually love what we do, right? And especially for the kids that are in our program, boys, girls, middle school boys, middle school girls, doesn't really matter, right? Like it's a family type vibe, so I love going to the games for that reason right there.
Can you guys each tell us one of your biggest success stories and a player that showed the most growth in your program?
Can't pick the same person either.
Yeah, well, I got a ton of kids. It would be unfair for me to just pick one player because we've had a ton of kids who have, every kid's a success story to me. Like, they all came in with some kind of goal. Like what Randy said earlier, some kids just come to our team to train with us so they can make the basketball team. All my friends on the basketball team, I want to make the basketball team. Obviously, there's some training that has to go with that to get better, to prepare for it. Some kids want a bigger role. Some want to go from the B team to A team. So to me, they're all a success story, man. That's what we love most about this journey. Watching a kid go from camp to Canton and then confident in actually doing it in the game. So I would say every kid that I've ever trained is a success story for me.
That's tough. I agree with him just because we've had some kids that people said were never going to be this, that, and the third, right? They were never going to play high school basketball at the varsity level. Then they went on to go play college, right? Or they never get a scholarship, and they had 20 plus scholarships, right? It's just really cool to see those kids, like you said, go from can to can. We've had tons of kids in our program that, man, they got cut 3 years in a row, and they're playing college basketball right now. Like, um, and I get emotional about it just thinking about all the kids in our program that have come along. We released on our social media page a couple of days ago. It had 77 total kids that have gone on to play collegiate basketball since our first graduating class of 2020. Right, that's incredible. Right, obviously we've been here since 2016. Our first graduating class was 2020. Like, that's incredible. Right, and not all those kids started off ranked or was on the top team or was on a team at all, right? But they just worked, they trusted the process, and obviously they end up seeing the results that we all were looking for. So,
I mean, to follow suit with the whole everybody thing, like for me, it's a little bit different just because I've gotten to watch all the players that he mentioned that have reached that college level. And for me, it's a new thing having players get to that point. But when I started, it was a lot of kids who never played before, middle schoolers who couldn't hold a pound dribble, to being seniors now that are playing varsity basketball. Those are the ones who, like, I really like hold dear just because there was many times they could have quit, and everybody probably told them they should have quit. And honestly, some people did tell them they should quit, and they didn't, and they found a way to keep going when everything was stacked against them. And now to look at them doing what they love way past when the timeline of it ended, that's awesome to me.
Outside of your academies, what individual training do you guys offer?
Anything that we do private and small group instruction, depending on the season, that'll determine what kind of programming we offer. So all our programming correlates with the basketball season. Obviously, in the winter, November through February, kids are in season, so we can't do stuff during the week. So in the winter, we do a lot of team accounts during the week. So a lot of feeder programs will hire us to come in and train their entire program. And then we run a weekend program. If somebody has some extra time and want to get a private in during the week, we do that. When we get into the summer, obviously, we offer summer camps. It's hard to lock people's schedule down. So we do what we call night training, which is just our open training sessions where they can pay as they go or they can purchase a package of sessions just to stay in the gym to be able to work on their game. Then that goes into the fall where we offer the fall academy, and then we offer Sunday skills as well because we got a lot of kids that might play football or play soccer or some type of fall sport that interferes with them being able to participate in the academy. So, man, we got something going on year round. It's normally going to correlate with what's going on in the basketball season.
Randy and Eric, do you guys have any interest in getting into coaching down the road, maybe at like high school level or college level?
No, I'm gonna answer that for them. No, I turned
I
down.
mean,
I turned down.
Randy has some sons coming up that are tough. Would you ever consider coaching them, Dom and Apollo?
all right, well, for them, yeah. But, I mean, before I got with M14, I wanted to be a college coach. That was originally what I wanted to do. I actually never thought I would be a trainer. That was the last thing I wanted to do, to be honest. I even told Nick that, but to obviously to see me here now is pretty funny, right? But now I don't really want to coach. I like training more because helping a player get through that, those tough times is really fun, right? So versus coaching is a whole different ball game. Obviously, coaching's pretty cool too, but I ain't got nothing against no coaches, but I like training.
Kind of like he said, I never wanted to be a trainer. They had to fight me for it when I was fresh out
I
of
literally
college.
fight 'em.
These two were on me on a daily basis, and I finally came to my senses. And once I did, I realized that this is what I want to do as long as I can do it. And the real reason is, on the training side, I feel like I can impact every individual player on a larger scale than I could as a coach. Because the reality is, as a coach, when you're building a team, it's a little bit different than when you have each player individually and making them each feel like they're a superstar. Whether that's what they are on their team or not, that's what I want you to feel. So being a trainer allows me to do that.
But to answer your question, I'm definitely coaching Dom and Apollo.
For sure, you got to coach
Definitely
your kids.
coaching
In
them.
college and high school,
His
that's
son's
not
gonna be
happening.
on there. Dom might play up with Reese. Like
We got
we
a
can
whole
figure it
plan.
out. Like we can figure it out.
And-
So
and
your
the-
daughter,
Yeah,
your daughter,
absolutely.
my
The other
daughter.
side of it though is we put so much time into all these other kids, man. Like obviously, we got to put that time into our kids, and I would speak for them because they haven't got there yet. But like they're gonna enjoy being able to spend that time with their kid. Like literally, that's gonna be better than actually coaching them. Like I just enjoy spending time with my son when I'm coaching them, and spending time with my daughter when I'm coaching her. But in regards to college and high school, no, we just trainers. So don't try to get us off the block. We trying to get the kids through high school and college.
We done had some people try to recruit us. No, we're not. Nope.
Okay, well, that's all the questions I have for you guys. But one last time, I want to open up the floor and anything else you guys want to share about M14 or any advice you guys want to give to hoopers out there.
First off, man, super proud of you two, man. This is big time, man. You guys are well beyond your years. Not only are you guys fantastic basketball players, but you awesome individuals, super smart young ladies, man. Keep up the good work. Your future is super, super bright. We're honored to be on you guys' podcast. This is big time, for real.
Thank you.
In regards to advice for any future hoopers, just keep working. Like, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? And don't worry about where you're at right now. Just find out what you need to get better at and try to get 1% better every single day. I know that's an old cliche statement that you hear all the time, but if you ask anybody that has made it to where you're trying to go, that will be the advice they're probably going to give you, man. Just get better every single day and keep your head down.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to piggyback off that, my advice to hoopers these days is stay focused on you, right? You're the priority. It's your goals you're trying to reach, right? You're the one that's trying to play college basketball or high school basketball. You can't worry about everybody else. Everybody else has their own timelines and all that, right? When I came out of high school, I didn't have any college scholarships, right? But I ended up playing in 5 different countries professionally. Like everybody has their own timeline. So just stay locked in. Like he said, keep your head down, keep grinding. But I want to segue off of that because you guys are both grinders. Now I had a question for you guys, if that's okay. Can you guys tell us about what your grind looks like? Because y'all are gym rats, and a lot of people look up to you guys because you guys are really excellent basketball players, right? But neither of you guys are comfortable with where you are, and you just want to get better, right? So can you kind of tell everybody what your process of getting better looks like? Savannah?
I'll start.
Claire?
Yeah, as you said, like we always want to grind, but I feel like one of your guys' biggest slogans is work paranoid, and that really has stuck with me. Like if someone's always trying to catch me, and I always feel that, and I'm trying to work hard each day. Like in the morning, I'll get up 6 a.m., get my agility in. When I get home, if I can't find a gym, I'll go out, work in my basement. One of the things I really work on is ball handling, because as a point guard, you have to be able to handle the ball in tight situations, and I work on for that 50 minutes. I try to get up at least 600 shots a day off the move, off the ball screen. But aside from all the training, I just think about like someone's
Now,
going
wait,
to
how do you
catch
get
me.
those 600 shots up? Somebody rebounding for you? Do you have a gun? Like, what are you doing?
No, actually, my brothers and sisters, I do have to give thanks to them. They're the best rebounders ever, and they're my best friends. But like, I made my sister go outside in -degree weather. But I always have to bribe them. Like, you can get on the iPad, but they might not agree with it. My parents, but I'm like, hey, if you rebound for me, you can get on the iPad. So like, but like what you guys were saying, I just try to grind, work my butt off, and so I can get to my dreams.
Cool. What about you, Savannah?
I always think about what happens in games, like if I'm getting tired in games or if I'm getting like 2 people guarding me and stuff. I try to work on stuff like that. But like in the mornings, I get up because I'm trying to be athletic. So like,
You trying to be, you already athletic.
Right.
Trying to be more
How much
athletic.
yeah,
more,
more
like-
athletic. I'll be doing like squats in the morning and push-ups, and then like after school I got practice and stuff. And then my brother's a trainer, so like we get up shots after practice, do a 1v1 and stuff. Even though I beat him every time.
Yeah?
Show him
Would you
that
say
clip.
that if he was here?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. He
He
let you
always
win.
lying. No. See, that's what he always say.
Is this every day that you guys are doing this? Do you guys take days off? Like,
No.
No, I do not take any days off.
Y'all heard it from them. The grind is real. Like, everybody always want to complain. I love it. Y'all waking up, putting in the work. You said when you can't find a gym, I'm just going in my basement. No excuses.
outside,
Yeah.
-5 degree weather. I like it.
-5.
Well, thank you guys for taking the time out of your guys' busy schedules to sit here with us and talk to us about basketball. And any hoopers out there who haven't checked out M14 training, you really should, because they're awesome in the training space. A big thanks to the M14 team for joining us for that interview. We hope you guys found it helpful, and please consider them for future training options.
Now it's time for question of the episode. What's your least favorite conditioning drill?
16s for sure.
Yeah, that is a lot of running. Mine is the Marcus Smart drill.
What is that?
It's like a lot of defensive slides and running for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Horrible.
that sounds terrible.
That's a wrap for this episode. We appreciate you all for joining us, and please help us spread the word. And remember, always be a dog on the court, but kind off of it.
Run your own race and do what's best for you and your family.
Never listen to the doubters.
And finally, positive energy only. Lift somebody up today.